Okay, so you know how you guys send in stuff that you think is worth a deeper look?
Mm-hmm.
Well, today we're diving into one that I think a lot of people have probably heard of, but maybe not really dug into.
Right.
The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss.
Oh, yeah. A classic.
Yeah, so we're looking at the expanded and updated edition this time.
Okay, cool.
And basically it's all about this idea of escaping the 9 to 5,
Yeah, pitching the cubicle.
Yeah, living wherever you want and joining the new rich.
That's the dream. Right.
Yeah, so this is going to be like a really good shortcut to understanding this whole philosophy because I know it's been hugely influential.
Absolutely. And for anyone listening, you're probably the kind of person who wants to get the most out of your time.
Yeah.
You want those key insights. You don't want to have to wade through a whole book.
Right, exactly. You want the aha moments.
Exactly, the aha
But you don't want to feel overwhelmed either.
No, nobody wants that.
So that's what we're doing here.
We're giving you the good stuff.
Okay, so first of all, can we just talk about how this book even got published?
Yeah. It's kind of a wild story.
I mean, 26 out of 27 publishers turned it down.
That's a lot of rejection.
It is. But what's so interesting is Ferriss' thesis approach, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to write some mainstream business book.
Right.
He was writing for his friends, almost like...
Like a conversation.
Yeah, and he was focusing on these unconventional things that had actually worked for him.
Yeah, things that were outside the box.
And I think that's part of why it became so popular.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it became a global bestseller.
Right.
Really started this whole lifestyle design movement.
Yeah, and the fact that you sent in the expanded edition is great.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not just a reprint.
No, it's been updated with years of feedback from readers.
Wow.
New tech, and most importantly, real-world success stories.
Oh, that's so cool.
So it shows how these principles have actually worked for people.
Yeah, because the world has changed so much since the book first came out.
It really has.
And the author actually addresses that.
Mm-hmm.
He argues that the ideas are maybe even more relevant now.
I can see that.
With all the economic uncertainty,
Yeah, and the way work is changing.
And people needing to think differently about their careers.
It's like Plan B is becoming Plan A.
Right, exactly. So if we zoom out a little bit,
Okay.
the book introduces this concept of the new rich.
The NR.
Right. And they prioritize something totally different from that traditional delayed gratification model.
They want it all and they want it now.
Yeah. They want time freedom, location independence now.
Not in 40 years.
Right. And that's where lifestyle design comes in.
Okay.
Which the book describes as like the art and science of creating a luxurious lifestyle in the present.
So hacking the system.
Yeah. So the book's promise is basically this.
Okay.
You can separate your income from how many hours you work.
That sounds nice.
Right? And move away from those long work weeks that don't even pay that well to something much more effective in freeing up your time.
Yeah, time is the ultimate currency.
Right. So to really understand this, it's helpful to look at Ferriss's own background.
Yeah, he's not exactly your typical business guru.
No. I mean, Guinness World Record in tango.
Wow.
And a national kickboxing champion.
That's impressive.
It is. But then you contrast that with him feeling stuck as a low-paid employee working crazy hours.
Right.
And that's where the real insights come from,
Yeah, it's not just theory, it's his lived experience.
Exactly. And he started questioning everything.
Like a true entrepreneur.
Yeah. Remember that drug dealing for fun and profit lecture?
Oh, yeah, that was provocative.
But it was meant to be he was challenging the status quo.
Right, making people think differently.
And the questions he asked were so key.
Like, what were they?
What if retirement isn't a guarantee?
Okay.
What if we could have mini retirements now?
Instead of waiting till we're 65?
Right. And the big one. Do we really have to work ourselves to death?
Just for the chance of a good life later.
Exactly. And the book argues that our focus shouldn't be solely on saving for retirement or finding some perfect dream job.
Right.
It's about gaining control of our time and building systems that can generate income.
So working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. And this leads to the idea of the deal maker.
The negotiator.
Yeah. And this principle that reality is negotiable.
I like that.
Right. At least outside of science and law.
Okay.
And he's not talking about being unethical. It's about recognizing that we have more flexibility than we think.
Yeah, we put ourselves in boxes.
And then there's the DEAL acronym.
DEAL.
Which is a process for becoming one of the new rich.
Okay, break it down.
Definition, elimination, automation, and liberation.
Got it.
But he also talks about DLA.
DELA.
Where liberation comes first.
Oh, interesting.
And that's for people who are still employed but want location independence.
So like digital nomads and stuff?
Yeah, so let's talk about definition because that's the first step.
Okay.
And this is where we have to challenge our assumptions.
Yeah, our old ways of thinking.
And define what we really want.
Like reprogram ourselves.
Yeah, concepts like relative wealth become important.
Okay.
Where it's not just about how much money you have,
right,
but what that money allows you to do.
Experience is not just possessions.
Exactly. And the book also mentions eustress.
Eustress.
Yeah, that's like positive stress.
Oh, okay.
Like the stress you get from doing things you enjoy.
Like a good workout.
Yeah, or like pursuing a passion.
Got it.
And one of the most insightful parts of the book is how it compares defers.
People on the traditional path.
Right, with the new rich.
Okay.
And it lays out these contrasting goals.
Like a side-by-side comparison.
Yeah, so let's look at some of them because they're really illuminating.
Okay, let's do it.
So a deferrer might say, I want to work for myself.
Okay.
But the new rich aim to have others work for them.
So building systems and teams.
Exactly. Then there's the whole retirement thing.
Yeah.
Deferrers want to retire early or young.
Okay.
But the new rich want mini retirements throughout life.
Like spreading it out.
Right. And when it comes to material things, deferrers want to buy all the things they want.
Okay.
But the new rich want to do and be all the things they want.
So experiences over possessions.
Exactly. And then there's control.
Okay.
Deferrers might want to be the boss.
Yeah.
But the new rich aim to be the owner.
So even more hands-off.
And even the motivation for making money is different.
How so?
Deferrers might just want to make a ton of money.
Okay.
But the new rich have specific reasons and defined dreams.
So a purpose behind it.
Yeah, and it's not just about the amount, but the quality.
Okay.
Deferrers want to have more.
More stuff.
But the new rich want more quality and less clutter.
Minimalism and intentionality.
And the time frame is different too.
Okay.
Deferrers look for a big payoff later.
Like the golden parachute.
Right. But the new rich want payday every day.
So consistent cash flow.
And finally, there's freedom. Deferrers want freedom from what they dislike.
Okay.
But the new rich want freedom from dislike and the resolve to pursue their dreams.
So a more positive approach.
Right. And building on all of this is this idea of the freedom multiplier.
The freedom multiplier.
Yeah, which basically says that the value of your money is multiplied by how much control you have over your life.
So it's not just about the number.
Right. It's about what you can do with it.
The when, the where, the with whom.
Exactly. And the book contrasts a high-earning investment banker with someone who might earn less but has way more freedom.
And maybe enjoys life more.
Right. And the point is that lower income with more freedom can actually be a richer life.
Richer life, yeah.
And the book gives examples of who these new rich are.
Like who?
The employee who negotiates remote work.
Okay.
The business owner who outsources everything. And the student who creates passive income.
So all different kinds of people.
Yeah, and to really show how this works in practice, the book tells some amazing stories.
I love a good story.
Like Dale Begsmith.
Who's that?
He's an Olympic gold medalist in mogul skiing.
Wow.
But he also built a successful internet company.
So he did both.
Yeah, and he didn't see them as mutually exclusive.
That's cool.
And he actually moved to Australia to support both his company and his Olympic dreams.
So strategic.
Right. And then there's Julie and Mark.
Yeah.
Who sold their sailboat and traveled the world for 15 months.
With kids?
Yeah, with their 3 kids.
Wow.
And it cost them less than their rent in Paris.
That's amazing.
And Julie realized that having kids didn't have to be a barrier to travel.
Right.
It could actually be a reason to travel.
And an education in itself.
Yeah. And then there are these shorter examples.
Yeah.
Like lifestyle design in action. There's Deb, who moved with her son to a boarding school.
Okay.
And Anthony, who was inspired by the book to quit his job.
Before he could even legally drink.
Yeah, he started a business, traveled, and hosted events.
That's incredible.
So these are all different ways to apply the principle.
Yeah, like real-world examples.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, the main takeaway seems to be this shift in perspective.
Yeah.
From working tirelessly for some future reward to prioritizing time freedom And enjoying life now.
Living in the moments.
Right, and redefining what a rich life really means.
Yeah, because it's not just about money.
Exactly. It's about how you spend your time and your energy.
And having control over your life.
So for everyone listening, think about what resonated with you.
Yeah, what stood out?
Which ideas sparked something for you?
And how could you apply even a small part of this to your own life?
That's a great question.
You know, the biggest obstacle to all of this
What's that?
might be our own beliefs.
Or our own limiting beliefs.
Yeah, what assumptions are you holding on to that might be worth questioning?
That's a powerful thought.
It is.
Because this deep dive isn't just about a book.
Right.
It's about potentially transforming how we approach work and life. Absolutely.
And that's something to think about.
Yeah.